All right. It has been a while, so we're just gonna let people come in. Hey, KK, how are you? Oh, hang on, I got a cord stuck under my chair. Hello, Ruth's Truths. Sorry, I got my phone cord stuck under my chair. Hello, Dee. Hello, Bill. Yes, it's been a bit. Been a little while. All right, sorry. Hey, Killer Whale. I am sorry I have not been around lately, but I haven't been around at all lately. So I'll talk about that here in a second. How are you guys? It has been a while. I'm not even sure I remember how to do this. And how is the sound? How is the video? Oh, Benny, hello. I should get onto my. I'll get on my phone on YouTube, and that way I'll be able to see you guys a little bit faster. Okay, well, when I look at myself on my cell phone, I am all blurry. I look clear here, so is what it is. Can you guys see okay? All right, so it has been a long while since I did a live. I have this, I don't know if it's a personality trait or if it is a habit or what. I don't know what it is, but I tend to, hello, day dog. I tend to push and push and push and push and run and run and run and run. Sometimes that's me doing that. Sometimes I'm just in a situation where, like recently, where I wasn't all my choice. And so I can do that for so long and so long and so long. And then I hit a wall and I'm just done. So that's kind of what happened. I had some work stuff that, yeah, just kind of really wore me out. So that is on a break right now with all of the other stuff in our world that's on a break. It will probably come back to a degree, but hopefully not all of it. Hopefully we resolved enough of the situations that I was dealing with where that won't be the case. But mix that a little bit, my need to just kind of stop with the fact that for whatever reason, the people that I listen to most, I stopped getting their notifications. And I'm not sure why. I still get YouTube notifications, but I just don't get anybody that I, was regularly attending before. So if I was regularly on your show or had been coming a lot, and I seem to be missing a lot now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm not getting those notifications. And some people do have a schedule, but honestly, I have enough trouble keeping up with my own schedule that you know I'll get to Thursday at 8 p.m. and think, oh crud, wasn't Tony Patriot on tonight? Because I think he usually comes on at 5 o'clock my time on Thursdays, and he goes on Mondays. But yeah, just running to keep up with my own schedule. So yeah, this break that we're all on, I'm not technically on a break. I did take 2 weeks off of work where I just kind of told my team, I'm done. I gotta go. I I think part of it is so my work, I deal with people a lot, and I'm at a point in my life, even if I disagree with someone, even if I am um, arguing with someone, I still really try to approach it in love. I still really try to be respectful, and I think I can still care for them, even though we're disagreeing. And really, I found myself having trouble loving people well. I just had a really bad attitude. So I needed to get myself in check. And part of that was stepping back and taking some time off so that I could love people the way that I feel I'm supposed to, even when we're in conflict, even um, you know, when I'm not giving people the answers that they want and they're not happy with me about that. Um, you know, I think it's important that we love people. So, uh, so again, I apologize if I have missed some shows. I mean, here and your shows as well. Um, and I'm not quite back, and I'm also not taking. I mean, I'm not off during the coronavirus stuff because I do a lot of my work on the computer anyway. I do a lot of my work on meetings on over the computer anyway. So now I just have more meetings over the computer, which is fine. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm slowly coming back. Is my point. I'm not full on. But I don't know. Are y'all tired of talking about what's going on in the world right now? Um, I know it seems like coronavirus is the only thing that anybody's talking about anymore. So, so let me just ask you that: are you guys tired of hearing about the coronavirus? No, Bill. I'm not good. not good at good cleansing breaths. That calm, that slow down. Um, Sometimes I feel like, okay, I'm still running, I'm still running, I'm still running, still choking myself. All right, so um, nice, D. We'll work on that together. How about that? All right, so nobody has said you're sick of hearing about coronavirus stuff yet. I think it's, I think I did a lot of preparing um, months ago now at this point, you know, 2 to 3. What is this? I don't even know what month this is, honestly. I mean, that's part of what has happened here. Uh, I don't know what day it is half the time. I barely know what month it is. Um, I'm just happy to know that it's 2020. So I think I'm doing pretty good that way. Um, but yeah, so I guess it was almost 3 months ago, probably about 10 weeks ago or so, when I was February 94th. Huh? Thanks, Bill. I'll be sure to keep you around to help keep me straight on my dates. Um, but anyway, uh, so I started prepping a while back before everybody else was, freaking out or whatever. Hello, Jeff B. Um, I mean, I feel like we have things pretty set here, but I still did my prepper shopping. I guess maybe early February. No, I don't even remember, but um, I do have some toilet paper, and I think it's, there's that thing of why are people buying toilet paper because this thing doesn't cause uh, you know stomach issues. That's fine, but my family goes through probably close to 2 rolls of toilet paper a day, always. So any toilet paper shortage is a problem here, um, unfortunately. But that's because there are 4 of us that are home all day long, and for most days. So anyway, started doing my prepping. By the time we actually got around to the government saying, "Hey, it's time to stay home," I was like, "Come on, can we just get this thing on the road? Can we just stay home, please?" Um, and I was just ready to just do it, to stop preparing for it, to stop, whether it was physically preparing or emotionally preparing or, whatever we were doing. I was ready to just stop preparing and just do. Let's just do this thing. Like I said, my life hasn't. I guess it's gotten quieter in some ways. Um, we don't have the daily sports that or kids working or whatever. But like I said, everything I do is, or most everything I do is online meetings anyway. So a lot has not changed there for me. I have spent a lot of days not doing my hair, not putting my contacts in. The only makeup I'm wearing is my lipstick. Um, so there's that. Okay, so D is saying that they supposedly have 12,500 virus cases there and over 400 deaths. Now number jumps thousands daily. Jeff is saying 125 cases in Sarasota and 7 deaths. Yeah, Louisiana's the ones that have been uh, increasingly getting worse. Hello, Fuzz Tea Fork. Um, see if this was so contagious, why not burn the bodies? And why is the president and vice president in the same place at press conferences? So, there's a lot, there's a lot being said about the virus. My personal feeling is that nobody wants the virus, obviously. Nobody wants any of that junk. I do think it's hitting hard, but I also think that, like the media does with everything else, they are sensationalizing, and they are using it for the narrative and the political narrative and objective that they want to achieve. So that's difficult, because it's hard to take everything seriously. But on the other hand, there is a virus. It is happening, right? The other thing is, Bill said witnessing an op. That's the other thing, is that I believe, because if you watch President Trump's, the task force briefings, he will get on the reporters about certain aspects of what they're saying. He'll get on them about how they're reporting materials not being delivered, or a shortage of personal protective equipment, and making it look like the federal government isn't doing what they need to be doing. And so he'll get on them about that, and about them reporting accurately. But the media is, all you see is that hospitals are overrun, these testing stations, there's backup and testing stations, and there aren't enough tests and all this kind of stuff. But then there are lots of videos out there, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Twitter or whatever, where people are posting, video even from the hardest hit places and saying it's dead here. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on here. There aren't backup of people and, huge lines and whatever else. And so you kind of have to weigh those things. And the president has not tried to correct that piece that I have seen. He has not actually gotten on the reporters for that. And so, and in fact, he has talked about how bad it is. And it's very interesting, because I was talking with a friend earlier about how when we watched the president, we're analyzing everything that he's saying, analyzing what does he mean by what he's saying. Yes, Jeff made the comment about the local hospital is laying off people. Doesn't make sense. And then Fuzzy is saying, I don't trust that infectious disease doctor or that nitwit Dr. Bricks. Is that her name? I feel like that. Is it Bricks? Yeah, they are. Honestly, what I think is happening is that the president is allowing the hysteria, and I think in the sense of not correcting it. Sorry. and not getting on it, because I think he's using it. I think he is using it for bigger purposes. So, whereas I think that this is a major time in our country, in our world, in our history, whereas I do believe that we are living through history. I was talking with my daughter, and she was like, "Mom, we're living a history book right now." I said, "Yes, we are." She goes, "That's so cool. We could have been born anytime. We could have lived at any time in history, and we're living right now." I'm like, I know. So, um, and it's so I do. I believe there's a lot going on. Um, but I believe that the coronavirus is not the bulk of it. I believe that the coronavirus is, um, I think it's being used. I think it exists. Absolutely. I think that um, I think we have to deal with it. Absolutely. But I also think that it's being used in order to accomplish a lot of other things. Hello, Headless. Good to see you. Let's see, I put all this stuff on my channel, but my favorites aren't mine. One from Really Graceful about Bill Gates. My other favorite, Truth Stream Media. We're Living 12 Monkeys. Please watch both. Yeah, no, Bill Gates, definitely a very interesting character in this storyline. But I think that the president is accomplishing much right now. And I think the coronavirus and the mainstream media's narrative about it, and those two doctors of his, I think either one of you called him that Weasley guy, or maybe that's just what was in my mind. Oh no, you just called him an infectious disease doctor. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, uh, he is difficult to trust, especially with him being out on the mainstream shows and giving interviews and saying very interesting things. Um, and then it's interesting because when they have their briefings, um, the media always tends to bring up his comments. Dr. Fauci said, da 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 da. That seems to be, different than what you're saying. And Dr. Fauci always comes back and makes it where, oh, no, no, I'm not disagreeing with the president. But he's just planting this stuff in the mainstream media. So it is very difficult to trust him. But I believe that, hello, Iron Crane. I believe that there is much being accomplished and much happening. In fact, I don't think it will take this long, but I look at us a year from now, and I think in a year from now, we are going to be living in a completely different situation. And I mean that politically, I mean that um, pop culture wise, I mean that um, I think there's going to be a sort of unity that we aren't feeling right now. Do I think that it's going to be perfect and that we're going to all agree on everything? No. I don't. I think our financial system and our monetary system are going to be completely different as well. And I don't know how quickly I all of this is going to happen. I know that it is a process. I know that we are in it. Um, I am someone who believes that um, there are um, children um, who have been trafficked um, and ad- adult trafficking victims who are who we are saving right now. And honestly, this is a difficult time for me because I know that there are a lot of people who are um, nervous or scared about the coronavirus. I know that there are a lot of people who are physically ailing from it, and those who have been lost, and those who are losing people. So I don't want to be. I don't want to seem heartless, or I don't want to be heartless about that. Um, but it's difficult for me um, to not be excited about what I think is happening right now, and excited about just what things are going to look like in a month, in 2 months, in 6 months, in a year. Um, I am. I am so excited about it. Love you, KK. Bye bye. Um, I'm excited about that. So whereas I am praying, um, and my thoughts and my heart go out to those who are dealing with the actual illness of the coronavirus. Um, I am I'm also so excited about where the changes that our country is going through. I am over the moon excited about the young lives that are being saved and going to be saved. Um, and the crippling of trafficking. I don't think that it will stop. No. But I think it's going to be crippled, at least for now. And that is one of those things that Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, independent, um, you know, Christian, you know, atheist. I think that everyone, unless you're a sick puppy, which obviously that's why we are where we are in some of this, but I think that everyone who is not a sick puppy, we can all agree on that. We can all agree that hurting children is not okay. And um, and the kind of things that have been happening to children um, not only is not okay, but it creates an anger. It creates a a fierce protectiveness. And be praying. If you are a person of faith, if you pray, be praying for those kids, and be praying for those who are tasked with not only rescuing but treating them both physically and emotionally and psychologically, because that is a huge job. And um, I heard someone say, I'm not even sure where I heard this, I don't remember, um, but I heard someone say that some of the kids or at least I think they said a lot of them, most of them would be so, love you, Nazawa, um, would be so um, damaged that they practically weren't human anymore. I don't agree with that. Um, and I believe that as horrible as things are, that God can um, heal any situation. He can heal any person. Um, so I don't say that lightly. I know that we're not dealing with easy stuff here. I know we are not dealing with anything pretty. Um, and I mean, I've done a lot of research into this, and um, I've read intimate accounts of some of this and listened to um, interviews by people who um, have gone through this, and you know, uh, it's just I'm not getting into all the details here, right? But it's horrible, horrible, horrible stuff. And so I understand when I say that they can be healed, that they can come to a place of life. Um, I'm not to be flippant. I know it's a massive undertaking, um, which is why we need to be praying and to be someone who is helping in a situation like that, whether it's an initial rescue, whether it's um, you know medical care, psychological care, whatever. Um, that takes special people, and it takes a lot of strength, and uh, they're going to need help too. They're going to need psychological help after seeing what they are going to be seeing. You can see anything. No, I'm not saying we're going to be living in a poorhouse. So that actually does bring me to, actually, let me finish my thought. Yeah, for those who are going to be helping these children, you can see a lot of bad things, but when you see the worst of things happening to the most innocent, the the um, the youngest of us, uh, that's just going to rock anybody. So yes, so pray for them. All right. Financially, I think we're in a very interesting place. Okay, so all this stuff came out recently after President Trump signed the CARES Act, talking about how um, the um, the Fed was being nationalized, kind of moved under the U.S. Treasury. Um, I think it's interesting because we're sitting here at 23 point, last I saw, $8 trillion of debt in our country, and we have a president whom I love dearly, who just signed us up with Congress to another 2.2 trillion. He's talking about up to 8 trillion, and all this. So that on one side does make me nervous, and it feels like there are a lot of things that could go wrong with that. However, um, knowing that the Fed is a corrupt and has always been a corrupt institution, um, understanding that the Fed has used our taxpayer money and loaned that and sent that money elsewhere, used it in other countries. um, knowing that um, the people behind the Fed make money off of things like our debt, and that's our debt as country, our debt on um, as individuals that make up our country as well. Um, they make money when we are at war. Um, so basically, they do well when we are going through our worst as a country and as a people. It's not so good. Um, and so one of the things I have heard is that because their practices have been corrupt and illegal and unconstitutional, even the founding of the Fed um, being unconstitutional, that the loans that we have as a country with the Fed um, are all illegal, and therefore um, we will be able to at one point say those are illegal and we don't have to repay them. So that's an interesting idea. Um, if so, we as a country are out of debt, like that. Another thought that I have heard out there um, is the idea that President Trump had signed early in his presidency. Um, he signed something that basically said, if you're found to be working against our country, then we can seize your assets. Um, Forgive me, this is not a well um, uh, cited show. Okay, I'm just really kind of talking off the top of my head. Normally, I like to cite a bunch of stuff. So on this stuff, you guys are just going to have to go and do your research. So I apologize on that. Um, but if that is the case, then you're looking at people like the Rothschilds having $2 trillion of net worth. You're looking at Soros family having, or is it Soros having two and Rothschilds having four, the Assads, all that kind of stuff, right? So these certainly the families that have been um, treasonous, um, that have been selling our country out. Um, those who have been, the term Logan Act has come up quite a bit over the last couple of years, really. So who's talking to other countries? Who's making deals with other countries that are not part of the administration, that are not actually approved to do so? There's a lot that's going to come out over this next few months. So when those things come out, um, are we going to then be able to seize the assets of these people and use that also for our country? Bill had some really interesting thoughts. For those of you who don't watch the Bill show last night, you should check out his stream last night. He talked a little bit about this. He talked about his thoughts about where we're going to be, and one of the things he said, and I have heard this from others as well, is this thought, the idea of us not paying income tax anymore when all this is said and done. So I have seen people say we are going to be we are going to tank. We are going to, um, we are going to, you know, slip into a depression. Look at what this last quarter did. Look at the drops. Look at the increase in unemployment, and compare that to these previous times in history and what happened. Um, the problem is with that, and yes, I see where all of that should happen. Um, the fly in the ointment to that, the fly in the ointment of us going down the tubes, the ruination of our country, the financial despair, is that we have Donald Trump in office. And I don't even mean to say that in a, Trump worship kind of a way. I mean to say that in the way that, you can say a lot of things about the man, but he is a phenomenal businessman. He knows economics. He knows business. He knows um, revenue and expenses. And sorry, don't mean to make y'all sick. He knows how to find every loophole. A businessman of his status that has as much at stake as he has had through his life, you have to know how to find the loopholes. And granted, not just him, right? All of his attorneys and all that, right? But part of that is part of being a smart business person is having the right people in place, right? And having the right people um, um, having the right people on on his team and advising him, and the right people looking for those loopholes and finding them. And so and he doesn't do anything on a whim. It looks like he does, right? It looks like he just kind of flies off the handle here, or oh, we're going to do this here. That's just not the case. That's not the case. He acts very intentionally, and he knows what he's doing, and he's always looking at plan B, C, and D, right? Look at the wall, right? Um, you know, if I'm not going to get it this way, I'll get it this way. If I won't get it that way, I'll get it the other way, right? Um, he made it happen. And he did it through, I think, unconventional ways that the rest of us were thinking, oh, you go this way, and oh, we've gotten stopped, right? We hit a brick wall. He doesn't hit brick walls. Those are just temporary speed bumps for him, because he's got another plan. He's got another direction. And really, he has to be, not even as president, but just in business, and in being as successful in business. You got to be a problem solver. You have to um, go until you find the yes, right? The answer is yes. I just have to find out how, right? That's what he's doing. Um, so, and he's been in business long enough, and he's been through the cycles, and he's been, um, he's seen the ups and downs. So I think he has a great amount of experience in how to get through that and how to walk through that. Now, having said all that, I think he's got a bigger plan anyway. I think that that everything that's happening is just kind of playing into what he was wanting to do, what his direction was as far as our monetary system and our economy anyway. So, yes, it looks horrible right now. And I've talked to people, and they've sent me, here, watch this video, watch this video, watch this video, and it's a lot of doom and gloom, and oh my gosh, this is the end, not only of our economy but of America in general. Um, but the idea of "Make America Great Again" was not just a tagline for him. And this isn't about, again, it's not about hero worship. It's not about Trump worship. It's about believing that he is genuine when he says, "I am here for the country. I am here for the children." Bill says this all the time, right? He didn't have to do this. He didn't have to do this. He was rich. People loved him. Um, all these people that hate him now, they used to love that guy, you know. Um, yes, it is a great tagline, but more to it than just the tagline, right? It wasn't like Obama, "A change we can believe in," or sorry. Billy, you're killing me last night. Um, so yes, I um, was never a fan of Obama. I was, um, I believe everything, I believe the most that he had going for him was emotional manipulation. I think he was skilled at it. I think he and his team were very skilled at manipulating people on an emotional level, because he ran on two things, okay? Because he was a nobody from nowhere. He had barely been in the Senate for half of a second. He hadn't really done anything. Um, so no, he actually had no accomplishments to run on. But certainly, especially leading up to the general election, there were two things he ran on. One, he wasn't Bush. So what was that? That's an emotional argument. Everybody had enough of Bush. We want a different, we want something other than Bush. And he was that answer. "I'm not Bush." And then what was his other answer? The other thing he ran on: "It's going to be historic. This is a historical election." Oh, doesn't that just grab your heart? No, actually, it doesn't. Hang on. Yes, I'm. I'm on. You lost your phone? It's not in here. Sorry. Um. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's historical. This historical election. Don't you want to be part of this historical election? This time where we rise up together and we say, "We are not racist because we have the first Black American president." Doesn't that make you feel so good? So yeah, no. Problem is, I don't care what color you are. If you're the wrong one for the job, you're the wrong one for the job. Hey, guess what? I don't care what gender you are either. Don't run on, "I'm a woman, therefore we should elect me because, well, I'm a woman." And it'll be amazing. and it'll be historical. Um, no, you have to be the right person. Man, woman, whatever color, that stuff doesn't matter. Yeah, identity politics. And we as a country have been led into this place where everything's divided because you are your color and I am my color, because you are a man and I am a woman, because you have a sexual orientation that is different than mine, because you make so much money and I make this other kind of money, right? We can't get along. You can't possibly understand me. I can't possibly understand you. You have to be against me somehow. It's crap. It's crap. And that's what he ran on. A big steaming pile of crap. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the whole Obama thing. And if you watch every Democrat that runs, um, they'll say a lot, but then certainly in the general election phase, they will, they always moderate themselves. They always bring themselves back to the center a little bit more. And when it's just two people that are being focused on running, in the run up to the general election, that's what happens. Um, what is D doing? Um, um, Now, having said that, yes, I used to be sold out Republican mainly because I felt like, long ago I would say, oh, I'll vote for the right person. Yes, I'm a Republican, but I will vote for the right person. And if they happen to be, of a different party, I'll vote for them. But then I really did come to a place where I thought, how could I ever vote for someone who aligns themselves with what the Democrat platform is, with what the Democrat Party stands for? Um, and so I had struggles with that. I thought, I don't know how they could be the right person ever if they align themselves with that party. Um, Now, having said all that, I now realize, since I have woken up, that Democrats and Republicans suck. And throw some independents in there. I don't care. Um, the reality is that there are evil, corrupt people in both of our major parties. And I'm sure there are evil, corrupt people in the other parties because I believe that evil and corrupt people have intentionally infiltrated as many aspects of life as possible. So, um, uh, yeah, I mean, technically, I'm still a Republican, but um, I'm not. The blinders have been taken off as far as Republican, Democrat. Okay, I'm going to catch up with what y'all are saying. Let's see how quickly I can do that because I know I've missed a lot. Whoops. What do I do for a living? Well, first and foremost, I homeschool my kids. I have been doing it their entire lives. My kids have never gone to a modern school. Um, a lot of people would say traditional school, but our schools today aren't traditional. They're actually modern. So um, so I've been doing that, but I also have worked with homeschooling um, families um, in the company that we use to do our homeschooling, if that makes sense. And I've been doing that for 11 years. Prior to that, I spent some time in finance. I used to work for a financial advisor and got to play with investments and mortgages and insurance and stuff like that. And then for a while there, I ran my own business where I helped individuals and a business. It was never my intention to work with businesses, but I kind of got roped into that one um, in dealing with their finances, creating creating a budget with them, helping them to pay their bills and stay on budget and all that kind of stuff, accomplish their financial goals, um, which I felt was important too. So I think that uh, the way that I homeschool my kids, so I use something called the classical model of education, which is a very different concept from modern education. And however, it's how our forefathers were educated. It's education going back in time. It's how the greats were educated. And so um, a big part of that is thinking. And that's lost in today's education. Um, Learning to think, learning how to learn anything. Um, Everything is very specific. And I think if our politicians today, granted taking out the corruption, but if our politicians today knew um, about a lot of things, if they weren't just attorneys or just this or just that, um, then they would be so much better for their jobs. Okay, so I want my brother and his wife to homeschool their kids. I offered to get a second job so my sister-in-law could stay home and do that. They're hesitant. Oh, Iron Crane. Number one, that's an amazing offer on your part. Number two, contact me. We can chat. Yes, I totally get being hesitant, but I also um, know that there are great resources out there for people. Um, and there are a lot of lies about homeschooling. Um, so if you want to chat, hit me up because we could talk about that. All right, since the fake flu and turning my head in that direction due to injustice, lies, etc. Okay, I may have missed that. Sorry, Iron Crane. It's at bedtime. Okay, I was gonna check to see what um, Fuzz and Dee were getting into, but he was only black on the outside. Oh, geez, Bill. Oh my goodness. But you have a good point, right? Because he he was half and half. If we're going to focus in on race, then why are you playing, the black card when you're mixed? Play the mixed card, whatever. It's just stupid. It's all stupid, stupid, stupid. Um, yes, I heard that Top Gun, my son informed me that Top Gun was going to be delayed. Okay. I'm saying all sorts of, if you don't watch the Bill show, you are wrong. All right. Do you think we should be pulling money out of our accounts? Yes, it feels like the right move. Maybe move some into hard assets. By hard assets, do you mean like precious metals or property? Mel, do you mean those pedos preying on the kids? That's what I was talking about, but I was talking about praying for those people who are going to be going to be doing the rescuing and the caring for those kids. That's the other thing, guys, to think about, where are all these kids going to go? My girlfriend and I were talking about this the other day. Where are all of these kids going to go? Some of them don't have parents. Some of them, their parents are the ones who sold them into this life. You know, their families are. Some of them, their families are full on in this life. Where are these kids going to go? There are so many of them. Mm-mm-mm. And they're going to need so much help. Okay. Precious metals, aluminum cans. Yes. Yes, Buzz. Absolutely take all of your money out of the bank and invest in aluminum cans. I'm sure that's the advice Bill gave you, because that is the only right answer. Do I save all my cat food cans as my neighbor collects it? I stands higher than a barn, but scrap prices are down. Yes. Um, Not that I don't agree with collecting scrap metals like that. Absolutely. I just maybe not take all your money from the bank and invest it that way. I feel secure. I mean, don't get me wrong, all the ladies are welcome, but you know, so are you gentlemen. So I love interacting with you guys when you're on here. I will post the link here in a minute when I get caught up. Yeah, Bill, and his best attribute is he knows how to take something through bankruptcy. No slam on him, it's genius. And that's the thing, right? He's been there, done that. And we need a manager. We need someone who can run our country. Um, yes, Iron Crane. We could never recover without a transfer of wealth to we the people. Big wheels turn slow, but when they turn, they are powerful. They do turn slow, but I think they're going to be moving a little bit faster in this next little while. So we'll see. They've definitely hit, you know, the rubber is now meeting the road. Yes. First world problem of losing your phone. The historical part made you young. I'm not sure which historical part you're talking about. Oh, oh yeah, of Obama. Mm-hmm. I know. It made my eyes roll back so hard that I had to like flick them back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just never bought his junk. I've never been a fan of Democrats, but old Nancy Pelosi, bless her heart, is giving me $1,200. Um, is Nancy Pelosi giving you the $1,200? I know she's. I almost said something that I probably shouldn't have. Manipulated by the media. Yeah, no, and I do actually watch your videos. Guys, I am horrible about commenting. I know that I should. I know I should, like and comment a lot. Um, it's one of those things I'm trying to get into the habit of because I do a lot of watch and then click on the next one and watch, click on the next one and watch because I've always, no matter, well, generally as I go through my day, I've just always got a video playing in my ear. Um, Sometimes I can't, obviously, if I'm on meetings or doing Latin with my daughter. That's a little bit harder. Although I did watch the impeachment hearings that way, impeachment hearing, and doing Latin on the other side. Um, in fact, yesterday during the um, during the briefing, I actually had it playing out loud while we were doing Latin, and my daughter was like, "Oh!" when Trump was, addressing um, certain questions and certain reporters that were asking the questions. So let's see. I'll say what's on your mind. I'm just gonna. Oh, well. Um, Welcome, well. To yeah. I'm not gonna follow that line, but thank you. Um, oh, Bill was leaving. Okay, good night, Bill. Love you. Hmm. All right, from what I understand, it's not just your own home. A friend of mine homeschooled with a dozen other kids, but they still had to visit school for some stuff, but their parents banded together. Um, okay, would have been homeschooled and took what, my mom to the prom in my living room. You're such a dork. I love you. You're awesome. Okay. Oh my gosh, Bill. Okay. So, getting back to most of the people I ever met are ones crying racism. Absolutely. And good point, Headless. Because honestly, it's about the focus, right? If I am not focused on your color, um, then I'm going to deal with you as a person, right? If you have bad behavior, it's not going to be because of a color, right? It's going to be because you're a jerk. Okay. Okay. That was probably a little bit much. We can have bad behavior and not be jerks, but you know what I mean, right? That's always been from the point I was a child. That's always been my approach. Um, if a person is a jerk, they're a jerk. If they're nice, they're nice. Kind, they're kind. It has nothing to do with their color. So um, I think it's all about that focus. And if you are focused on color, then you are gonna be more racist. You are gonna have more racist tendencies, right? Even if you're looking for other people's racist tendencies, because you're focused on color. So how can you not? If that made any sense, made sense in my brain. But um, so Iron Crane, I'm not sure what you were referring to, but yeah, different states have different laws regarding homeschooling. We do not have to, where I am, we do not have to meet with a teacher. We don't have to turn in our work, somewhere or get our lesson plans approved or anything like that. We do have to get the kids tested on an annual basis, and we have to keep records, although those records really are only useful if you at some point put them into a public school. Then they need to be able to look at the records so they can see, get an idea of where to start you. Um, but uh, but I also know places where they can't homeschool unless they are doing it under the supervision of a certified teacher. And I know people who have to like take in their big old massive stack of, you know, all the kids' books and all the kids' curriculum each week and go through everything and say, this is what we're going to do this week and all that. That's just wrong, in my opinion. Um, Sort of non-school school in their community. Yeah, and so what I was going to say about that is, in my state, one of the things you can't do legally, you can't have someone else homeschool your kids. Now, I can use someone else to teach my kids or to tutor my kids or something in math or science or whatever, but I'm still the one overseeing it. Um, so that's how that works here. But again, every state is different. I feel the need for speed. Yep. Oh, good night, Dee. I love you. Um, okay, so okay. um, okay, so Iron Crane said Mel commented on my video. I did a backflip and almost landed on my feet. Not bragging, just saying. Okay, that's impressive. I used to be a gymnast, so and I still uh, was always impressed because it was always seemed like it was guys who could just sit there and do a backflip and nothing. I used to do back handsprings, and when I was learning how to do them, I kept not. I kept. I don't know. My arms kept buckling or something, and so when I'd hit my head on the floor. I'd get up, and then my coaches would be like, like, did she break her neck? You okay? um, Sorry, off on that track. Poor History B was going off on abortion. No need. The guys are sleeping with other guys, the women with other women. No babies, no abortion. Oh heavens. Oh heavens. That's funny. I was actually thinking about talking about some abortion stuff today, but I'll say that for another time. But uh, that's the perfect way to combat our population issues, right? That's the big thing, right? We have overpopulation, right? So we've got to kill off some babies. We've got to, um, get men sleeping with men, women sleeping with women, and not procreating. We need to um, have all sorts of vaccines that are going to make us healthier and live longer. Yet somehow we are like what, the 17th nation in regard to health and um, uh, fetal mortality rates and all that kind of stuff. Um, but yet we're first when it comes to vaccines. Yay for us. Um, by the way, I am not going near a vaccine for this stupid coronavirus. And I am praying that everything that Trump is saying about vaccination regarding this is just him just playing along with what's going on until all this crap comes out. Because nope. All right. Oh, we don't forget the wars. Kids go to school, but still they lack skills to live. That's done purposefully. in my opinion. Um, and it's not just about skills to live, it's about the ability to think, the ability to problem solve, the ability to use logic. All of those things are important in everyday life. All of those things are important no matter if you are a brain surgeon, a plumber, or if you are trying to, live off the land. You got to be able to think. You have to be able to learn. You have to be able to adapt. You have to, uh, you know, uh, all of these things, the ability to think and to use logic and reason are, I was going to say, are being removed, have been removed, at least at the education level. And if we don't recover that, then as our generations age and people who still have the ability to think and reason and logic die, they're just going to be replaced with those who can't, and those who are easily manipulated and controlled. When you're easily manipulated, you're easily controlled. Okay. Oh, whoa, whoa, I skipped down. Okay, thank you, Fuzz. Okay, I'm going backwards. I'm not sure of the specifics because it wasn't actually me, but he said that he said they still had to meet with a teacher or two every other week or month or something. Yeah, again, different states have different um, rules, and if you contact me, I can um, help you with that too. I mean, if you want someone in your corner regarding your niece, nephew, I'm not sure which one, but um, round off, back handspring, back tuck. Yeah, I don't think I ever did a back tuck. Um, yes, Joe, that's what happened to me. I also had one time where I was doing a handspring over a vault, and now the vaults are, I don't know, kind of different shaped, but this is when they looked like a pommel horse without the hand grips. And I it was the last run of practice, and I just wanted to get a really good one in. And I had this idea, I was just gonna hit it hard. I was gonna push off so hard. I was just gonna fly through the air. Okay, this is what was going through my mind. Okay, what actually ended up happening is, if this was the vault, I went running at it, running at it, running at it. Hit my whatever that is, like the little trampoline. Um, you know, hit with my hands, pushed off really hard, but I pushed off so hard that I over rotated. And so I came up and I rotated in the air, and then I came down and I landed on my back on the vault. And I just like, it was like a cartoon. I just like slid off onto the mat. And my coaches, I'm sure they thought I had broken my back and they were in big trouble. They're like, "Are you okay? Okay?" Like, I just kind of laid there, like, "I think so." But yeah, that's probably what happened. Oh, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I can still, I'm still pretty flexible. I can still like do the splits and stuff. But as far as I tried to teach my daughter how to do a handstand a while ago. She was interested in gymnastics, and I couldn't get her to commit enough. Like she would like, I don't know, couldn't actually kick all the way up. And so I was trying to tell her, look, just kick harder, right? And so I went down, I put my hands down. I was like, just kick harder. And my intention was not to go up into a handstand. My intention was um, to just show her kind of the power that she needed to have when she kicked. But I did an accidental handstand. And when I was up, I felt everything in my body like adjust from, like from under my butt up all the way down to my neck. Like, oh, oh. So I spent a little bit of time with my chiropractor after that. Got to see him a lot for a little bit after that. So yeah, I still do some stupid things. Um, I forget my age sometimes and get myself caught up in that. So anyway, all right. Let me see. I think that's about it. There's so much. I just wanted to come, honestly, and say hello, let y'all know that I am still around. I do hope to be back a little bit more, but I just, I'm going to play it by ear as far as coming on and being serious about it. I'm still recovering a little bit from my level of exhaustion, and pressure. So, yeah, I thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Love you much and love all of the conversation that you guys bring. And yes, Joe, so Growing with Wally, that's the new title or the new channel name, but he's been around forever. If you have not checked him out, I think he said he was going to be going on about 8 p.m. Pacific tonight. So check him out if you're around. A lot of times he'll play a little bit of the shovel, which is awesome. So anyway, check it out. Join us. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.